Hi, are you struggling with recreating parts of your LMS courses? Well, in this lesson, we're learning all about SCORM. So that way you can reuse your lessons and your interactive elements. You can get better student stats and you could decouple your content from your LMS vendor. Hi, I'm Angel from RT Course Experts, and we help creative online course teachers with their tech. In this lesson, we're learning all about SCORM. What is it? Why use it? How to use it? We'll go over an example, and then finally, we'll summarize our top tips. First of all, what is SCORM in e-learning? Well, SCORM is a standard to make online courses using well-defined components that work together. So it's really a technical standard. But once you start using SCORM compliant tools and authoring tools and apps, it all starts to work together and then you get more power out of it. Why use SCORM? Well, it helps large training companies build courses faster by reusing content components. So once you create a survey, once you create a quiz, once you have an intro video, you can reuse them across multiple courses very easily. It's almost like dragging and dropping. So you get to reuse those core elements that you did across many courses. So that's pretty cool and that's very helpful. So let's start with a technical explanation. What is SCORM? SCORM. So the S is for sharing. So these components that you can reuse, they're very shareable. You can share them across different lessons, different courses. Then you have the content, right? So that's an important part. What is the content that is being used, the different kinds of content that can be shared? And then object, because there are components that come together and they built these composite elements. They all come together almost like Lego blocks. And then you could use these higher ordered structured components with different elements that you reuse or you could tweak. Then you have reference and model. So shareable, content, object, reference, model. So again, this is a tech spec, but once tools start using this tech spec, then the elements that are created, the elements that you make can all start to be interchanged, reused, swappable, pretty cool stuff. So SCORM is really a technical specification for defining and holding all the course information, including all the assets, the data, everything that's on the server, everything that's part of that course from when you begin to when the different students end. Once you start liking SCORM and using it, you're going to create SCORM-based content using tools like Articulate, Moodle, Captivate, LearnWorld, etc. Now, it's not fully available in some LMSs like Kajabi, Thinkific, Teachable, Padia, but the point is I wanted you to learn about SCORM and so that you can start to expand your mind about, hey, I made that survey or I made this cool PDF or this great resource. Let me reuse these things. So just thinking about SCORM, whether you're actually using it or not, is going to expand your mind and it's going to make you a more productive content creator. And it'll help you with your content, your courses, and your community. Once you start using SCORM, there are a bunch of benefits. First of all, it's portable across systems. So once you create like a video lesson or a quiz or an interactive puzzle where you're matching pictures to words, once you start doing that and create it in a SCORM compliant system, later, if you level up and you get a bigger, more powerful system that's also SCORM compliant, that same content you can reuse. You don't have to rebuild content. So that's pretty cool. And of course, SCORM gives you the ability to reuse your modules with versions. It knows what version of what course and how they're compatible. And of course, your components are reusable. So as you're making things, you can reuse them. There's version numbers in there. You can mix and match. Over the years, you can take an old version and use it in a newer version, SCORM. So there's just a lot of data tagging and fingerprinting that's happening underneath with all the different content that you're creating for your creative courses and community. Next are the flexible content types. So there's these very well-known content types, not just videos and text, but lots of different content types that you can reuse, and they're all understood and shared across these different SCORM LMS authoring tools. So that's pretty great. And as you start to build out your content toolbox with all the different courses and surveys and quizzes, you can have a standard student experience. So when they're taking these courses, they're going to look very similar. It's not going to look like a hodgepodge of different systems. You're going to have this standard look, this theme, and whether you're reusing a quiz from one part or a video from another or a gamified part, all these different pieces, they're going to be standardized. And that's pretty cool that once it all gets bundled together for each individual course, they'll get this standard user experience. So that'll be pretty great. Another thing that comes with SCORM is time and progress and the ability to continue. So basically stats all about every single student. You know, did they start? Did they finish? Where are they? Where are they in the grand scheme of things? Or where are they within the modules? Did they complete it? Did they make it all the way to the end where they took the quiz or they got their certificate? All this sort of stuff. So not only does this help the course creators, because then they know where their students are, their cohorts, their employees or whatever, but then also from a student point of view, it's easier to pop right back in and continue and close out different courses, especially if they're a little longer. SCORM also contains navigation and sequencing rules. So what this means is students allowed to hop around and take any modules, or do they have to finish them in a sequential order from beginning to end, and other types of rules like that. Can they break out and go read a resource, come back? So all these sort of navigation and sequencing rules, they're part of SCORM. Finally, SCORM lets you log the scores and see what were the correct answers, what are the stats for every single student, where are your averages, and then you could also see where students are struggling. So you can go back and maybe improve the course content as well as update the quizzes, or maybe even leverage parts of this course in another course, because SCORM lets you do that, and then you can have a deeper dive into certain parts of the overarching course. So SCORM gives you all these kind of capabilities as a creator to mix and match all these components. Now let's check out an example about using SCORM in a creative course. So once you have all your assets and every part of the course, that goes in a zip file. That's a compressed file and has all the different things. It has all the assets. So it might include HTML, it might have images or videos and text and all those kinds of things. Those all go into this one zip file that has all the assets that are later reused by all the different lesson parts. Next, after these little raw assets, these individual atoms, if you will, you have these bigger things that combine the assets and use them in certain ways. So these are called SCOs, and these are the shareable content objects. So these are interactive lessons that have not only video, but questions about the video in the middle of it, and prompts and stages, or maybe quizzes, or maybe a PDF resource that not only has text, but has a link out to another video or to some other stuff that it makes it more interactive and more engaging. Your SCORM course also includes lots of metadata. So this is like, what's the name of the course, the title, the information, maybe the hero shot, what's this picture of this course that you're building, including all the little components that go in it. Then, once you have all your course elements, your interactive content, and the raw assets, you're going to aggregate them. You're going to combine them in different ways. And then you're going to structure your curriculum. So you'll have a set of modules. What are the modules? What are the lessons? What's the tree? What's the hierarchy of what you're building? So SCORM lets you do all that, and you provide all this information in one giant file. So, and that file is the stuff that goes to your LMS, regardless of what version it is. First of all, you create it with an authoring tool, could be a variety of authoring tools, and then once you're done and you have the SCORM package, you use it on your LMS of choice that supports SCORM. And that's the thing, it's going to really know the curriculum, it's going to have settings for the sequencing, what is the order of all the different things based on the rules that you provided. It'll have a runtime engine, so it knows how to do interactive stuff. It's almost like the server. This is the LMS server, and it knows how to deliver all the stuff to your students. It has that data file that has everything about the course, but now it's also serving it, and it knows how to interact with the student. And of course, on the LMS server, you're going to have learner data. So that's their status, which courses they took, how many courses they've taken, what's their stats, all that sort of stuff. And then of course you can compile it across all your students so you can see how your courses are doing. Finally, you have the student experience. And so this is where the student has a browser, they're online, they're on the network, they have an operating system, they have a different device. That combination of collection. And so the student uses this browser, this device, whatever it is, in a desktop, a tablet, a mobile, in different orientations, at work, at home, on the go, whatever. So the student experience, that system is connecting to the LMS server, and then the LMS server is serving and providing a great, almost like a video streaming server. It's providing all that information to the client device, right? The student experience. And yeah, that's how it works. So you first create this SCORM package. It's the zip file, it has everything about your course. You upload it to your LMS server, and then the LMS server handles hundreds or thousands of students that log in, almost like a web server, and it gives them everything that they need to know. And then finally, the students, all the way at the end, they're connecting to that LMS server. So that's how you would use SCORM in an entire, from beginning to end. You would build the SCORM content, you'd upload it to an LMS server, and then the students connect to that LMS server, and they're getting parts of that LMS course as they need to, as they progress. So if you want to level up, just start thinking about SCORM, whether you actually use it or not. The point is that you're reusing your e-learning content across all your different training programs. So you might have a handful of courses, and it's kind of silly to recreate every element. Of course, in a more simple case, you can just simply reuse videos or reuse PDFs or reuse certain text across your different modules, your different courses, all your different trainings. That's cool. The next level after that is using SCORM type tools that let you mix and match that same content at a higher level, not just those little raw assets, but at a higher level. That entire quiz you could just drag and drop and use it across 5 different courses. So that's pretty cool. So let's summarize. Here are the top things you need to know about SCORM. SCORM is a technical spec that's used by a bunch of tools, whether it's authoring tools or LMS systems, right? Online course servers, if you will. So that's SCORM, and they are SCORM compliant authoring tools and SCORM compliant LMSs. So that's it at a high level. And underneath, once it's SCORM compliant, you can mix and match, and you can get all these cool benefits where you can use your content on different tools and different servers. So that's it. So whether you're using SCORM or not, think about reusing your content. So you're going to create content, and you're going to chunk it up in such a way that you can reuse it across all your different programs, or update one part without having to recreate the entire course from last year that you created. And you don't have to go do all those recording sessions. You don't have to do all those PowerPoint slides and all those other things. Those are the main benefits of SCORM. So now you're a lot smarter on SCORM and how to structure your e-learning content. To learn more, check out the info and links in the notes. If you're loving this stuff, subscribe to keep leveling up your creative business. And if you need any tech help with your courses, community, or teacher website, visit www.rtcourseexperts.com. Thanks for hanging out. Let's stay in touch.